Welcome to the podcast summary of Crazy in Love. Today's story is one of those great pop music reminders that something can feel immortal now and still begin in total chaos. Crazy in Love came together at the last minute, mixed old soul with very current swagger, and ended up becoming the song that announced Beyoncé as a solo force on a whole different level. And what's especially striking is how it never really froze in 2003. The song kept evolving through video, live performance, remixes, and even a completely reimagined version years later. The origin story is almost absurdly casual for a song this big. Producer Rich Harrison had already built that now iconic horn-driven beat by sampling the Chai Lights' 1970 track, Are You My Woman? At first, people around him weren't even that excited about it. Part of the reason was probably that it sounded unusual for the moment. Those horns had this bold, old-fashioned punch, and Harrison held onto the beat until he found an artist who could really carry it. Then the writing happened under heavy time pressure. Harrison reportedly put together the verses, the hook, the backing track, and the instrumentation in about 2 hours while hungover. After Beyoncé told him he had a short window before she left to shop for Kelly Rowland's birthday gift. That's a very specific kind of deadline. Not some dramatic label boardroom countdown, just regular life barging into pop history. Beyoncé's key contribution came just as spontaneously. She saw herself in a mirror with her hair looking messy and said, "I'm looking so crazy right now." That became the bridge, the title, and really the whole emotional center of the song. Jay-Z was another late addition. He arrived around 3 a.m. and reportedly improvised his verse in roughly 10 minutes after Beyoncé asked him to jump in the night before the album had to be submitted. So this landmark single was not born from some serene, months-long master plan. It was built out of instinct, pressure, and very good timing. What makes Crazy in Love hit so hard is the way it pulls in different eras without feeling stitched together. You've got that 1970s soul sample up front, big brass blaring, hip-hop drums underneath, R&B vocals on top, plus funk and a little go-go pulse in the movement of the track. In lesser hands, that could have sounded dated or overstuffed. Instead, it became this kind of pop maximalism where every element is doing something loud, memorable, and strangely clean at the same time. The tension is the whole trick. The sample brings instant swagger and recognition, but the drums and vocal arrangement keep it urgent. It doesn't feel like nostalgia. It feels like it's running at you. And then there's the uh-oh. It's tiny, but it works like a branding iron. One of those hooks that lives between sections and somehow makes the whole song even more identifiable. Lyrically, Beyoncé is playing with romantic obsession as a kind of happy loss of control. She knows she's acting out of character. She knows she looks foolish, and she's not trying very hard to hide it. That mix matters. The track sounds commanding, but the emotional premise is vulnerable. She's in charge of the performance while admitting she's not in charge of the feeling. This is the song most people point to when they talk about Beyoncé's shift from Destiny's Child star to solo superstar. Retrospective writers have described it as her grand introduction and the blueprint for how to launch a solo career. Arrive with something instantly recognizable, impossible to ignore, and fully your own. The success was immediate and broad. It hit #1 in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Ireland, and Beyoncé was simultaneously on top of the US Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200, as well as the UK singles and albums charts. On the Billboard Hot 100, it got to #1 through airplay before a major retail release and stayed there for 8 straight weeks. It later spent 27 total weeks on the chart, and its commercial life kept going. In December 2024, it was certified 8 times platinum in the US. Critically, it moved past regular hit status a long time ago. It topped several Best of the 2000s lists. Rolling Stone named it the greatest song of the 21st century in 2018, and in the magazine's 2024 update of the 500 greatest songs of all time, it landed at number 16. That's a rare arc, a huge hit that also hardened into canon. The music video was a big part of the transformation too. Directed by Jake Nava, it lays out the song as a visual progression through dance routines, dramatic sets, fire, water, sharper styling, and increasingly elaborate outfits. Beyoncé described it as a woman realizing she's in love and doing things she normally wouldn't do. Stylist E. Hunter built that into the wardrobe, moving from minimal clothing toward full high-fashion diva spectacle. That structure became important because it helped establish the version of Beyoncé audiences would keep seeing for years. Meticulous, performance-driven, image-conscious, and always escalating. The video won 3 MTV Video Music Awards in 2003 for Best Female Video, Best R&B Video, and Best Choreography. Looking back, critics see it as the starting point of the long run of ambitious visual work that would eventually lead to projects like Beyoncé and Lemonade. What's just as impressive is that the song never became trapped in its original video or era. Beyoncé has used Crazy in Love on every headlining tour through 2025, changing the arrangements, staging, choreography, and vocals, so it keeps living instead of just being replayed. That's harder than it sounds. Some songs survive by staying exactly the same. This one survives by being flexible. One of the best examples of that flexibility came in 2015, when Beyoncé re-recorded the song for the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. She stripped out Jay-Z, slowed everything down, and turned it into something closer to chamber pop, with violin and a much more vulnerable, sensual, cinematic mood. Producer Boots and arranger Margot treated it as a true transformation, not a nostalgia exercise. Margot's point was that reversing and flipping the familiar mood made the song's theme even stronger, because irrational love can sound explosive, or it can sound intimate and unsettling. That same adaptability shows up in the song's long remix and cover life too. There are house-oriented versions, deeper funk treatments, orchestral takes, swing, rockabilly, acoustic versions, samba touches, and alternative rock interpretations. When a song can survive that many costume changes, it usually means the core idea is stronger than the arrangement. And Crazy in Love has also stayed everywhere else. Films, television, ads, dance competitions, video games, charity compilations. It works not just as a recording, but as a piece of instant pop recognition. You hear a few seconds, and you know exactly what world you're in. So that's the wild little miracle of Crazy in Love. A beat people were unsure about, a rushed writing session, a mirror comment, a 3 a.m. guest verse, and somehow the result is one of the defining pop songs of the century. Some songs arrive polished. This one arrived alive. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.